So JD scored himself a huge courtroom victory a few weeks ago, and this is why that certain Aquaman starlet has been so desperate as of late. I mean, imagine going full throttle in your desperation only to hear these magic words: denied, 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 denied. See, they've been demanding access to everything under the sun, whether it's business arrangements, information about JD's lawyer, Adam Waldman, access to JD's charitable record donations, and on and on and on. Now, not only did they not get everything they were asking for, but the desperation that comes through and the moves that they're trying to pull, they are beyond profound. Now, you and I, we're going to talk about this and so much more today. Fun times, huh? Fun times indeed. Oh man, so hey there to all you fine folks on this fine day, by the way. I hope you are doing excellently. And this decision, it says plenty about that certain Aquaman starlet. It says what they're going to do moving forward. It showcases all their desperation. And it also showcases who exactly is their big boogeyman. And it's not just JD, it's Adam Waldman. Now, what we're looking at today is a judge's decision about demands from that certain Aquaman starlet. This would be in regard to their request for production. You can see they had plenty of documents talking about this too. They were up to 11th and 12th requests. They kept adding and adding and adding to it. Now it highlighted the desperate strategy that certain Aquaman starlet is sticking to, noting that they're trying to minimize culpability. Basically, they're saying, we didn't do that to JD. JD did it to himself. Hey, let's bring in his old agent that he fired to prove that. While also trying to build a bigger boogeyman out of one Adam Waldman. You know, the guy that represents JD, that they say he's in collusion with bots. You know, bots from overseas. I mean, how desperate is that idea? And while also vindictively demanding charitable donation records from JD. Why? Because that certain Aquaman starlet was publicly embarrassed. They had put in writing, in court documents, that they had given away $7 million. They had said that for 4 years. Well, when that came out, that it didn't happen, they started saying, well, what about that guy over there? And you know, that doesn't have anything at all to do with this case, except, again, for revenge. Now, while reviewing the words, denied, 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 while reviewing this decision from the court, I want to give credit where credit is due. Props to the real Laura B on Twitter. Check her out. She posted this a couple of weeks ago. I decided that I would wait to see how it played out, but also check out her podcast. She, QWERTY, they got together, they did background on this case, and it is phenomenal. It is the best stuff I have heard for background there, so check it out for sure. But the order here, so you can see, I'm going to skip all of this, but it's telling you it's going to be about the 11th and 12th request for production of documents from JD. So the order, it's granted in part, denied in part, and you can see a lot of the denials. There are quite a few denials that are set outright. And there should have been, by the way, a lot of overreach with this. Now, remember that desperate strategy I mentioned? Well, what the judge actually grants sets that thing in stone. And remember, this is all about minimizing culpability. What the argument is that JD, he was already off the track, so all the damage that they were doing, that didn't impact his life at all. And the way that they go about this, well, every single part could backfire, and spectacularly. This first part, for example, JD shall produce any non-privilege. That is an important distinction, by the way. Right now, that certain Aquaman starlet is going after medical records, privileged items that should never see the light of day. But this is about non-privileged. So non-privileged documents reflecting the consumption of, let's just say, any substance under the sun on the dates of those allegations by that certain Aquaman starlet, if any actually exist within his custody and he hasn't turned them over yet. Talk about desperate and could backfire on you. The same person saying substance abuse that equals another type of abuse was allegedly consuming a baseline against just your normal day average 1 to 2 bottles of wine. You can see how that could backfire, right? And that it continues throughout all of this. Take the second part, for example. JD shall produce a fully executed copy of a separation agreement with Vanessa Paradis. Remember that certain Aquaman starlet actually hired a private investigator to comb through all of his relationships, looking for anyone that would come out, say anything negative about him. That PI came back and said, yeah, I can't find anything. This person, though, that's putting all of that together, they were arrested in 2009. Why? Because of the same thing that they're looking for there. That gets the old noggin jogging, right? Now, this part, I love this third part. JD shall produce non-privileged pictures, recording, and other documentation of the alleged incident between JD and Mr. Brooks. This incident, by the way, or alleged incident, I should say, that is what delayed City of Lies. Brooks says that JD actually accosted him, hit him twice, said he would pay him $100,000 if he would return volley and hit JD. JD responded by saying, we did have an argument. It was pretty heated, no hands-on. And what was that about? Well, Mr. Brooks, he was treating females badly. So she's going to try to say, oh man, this guy, he's out of control. Look what he does. When, if you look at why this supposedly transpired, yeah, it goes against what she's trying to say. Now, nothing compares to the stuff about Adam Waldman, though. Again, they're trying to build the better boogeyman. I mean, look at what they try to go with. This is in response to the counterclaim. So please produce all documents supporting, refuting, or otherwise relating to your statement in response to number 11 of the counterclaim. Counterclaim defendant admits that Mr. Waldman may have public associations with one or more persons of Russian origin. Now, what's crazy about that is the allegation that Russian bots. That's what that certain Aquaman starlet tried to go with. That was shot down, but apparently they kind of go back to that because knowing somebody from Russia, now that's a crime. I mean, you see how desperate that is. Same thing here. Oh, Adam Waldman, he had communication with witnesses. Of course he had communication with witnesses. He's a lawyer. He's been attached to this stuff. He put together a lot of the statements there. Yeah, of course he talked to witnesses. It's all a matter of public record. He talked about this publicly. He released one or more declarations in the public sphere. He has publicly commented about this litigation. Of course he has. They could have pulled up a lot of that too, but unfortunately they decided to go out and they decided to target his Twitter account. Yeah, maybe that's a big fail. Yeah, looking at this and the few other items that weren't denied, they remind me of Legos if you were to throw them in a fireplace. Yep, sure, you might salvage a few and you might put something together, but that sucker, it's going to be ugly. That's exactly what this defense is. It's desperate and it's ugly. But anyway, let me know what you think about all of this stuff. And as always, appreciate the heck out of you. You make this stuff work, so thank you. Want to help out the channel, by the way? Links in the description. You being here, though, that matters. I appreciate you. Say it every time because I do. I appreciate you sincerely. And until next time, well, we'll see you soon.